Hey Wargamers, last week I saw a question about if Tau drones count as a separate unit than their host unit for objective or mission purposes. And of course the obvious answer is yes, but that's not necessarily true. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you like the video, go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming uploads. Alright, so hopefully I didn't throw you out of your seat right away by saying that drones don't necessarily count as a separate unit. There is some nuance to that, and we are going to break that down right now. So let's start at the beginning, looking at what the actual rule says. So for drone support in the index, mind you, so this might change with the new codex, but in the index, the drone support rules, when a unit is set up, any accompanying drones must be placed in unit coherency with it. From that point onward, the accompanying drones are treated as a separate unit. So there's a critical line there where it says when the unit is set up, the drones are set up within coherency. Once they are set up, they are a separate unit. So that has a lot of meaning to it. It has a lot of weight. Basically, in almost any situation after the unit has been set up, yes, they count as a separate unit. So if you're playing a mission out of the rule book, if you're doing something out of the open war deck, anything like that, if it's talking about units, the drone and the host unit are separate. There's no arguing that. You can't say that they're separate. It says in black and white right here that they are separate units. But there are special cases, especially within the tournament, environment, where that isn't true. So for reference, let's look at the Renegade Open mission packet, at least from 2017. There is a option for you to select the assassination mission, and in that mission it says before the game starts, select a unit, mark it for assassination, and if you kill those units that you mark, you win that objective. The critical part there is that you do this before the units are deployed, and so in that scenario we're talking about stealth suits and marker drones, or a commander and his gun drones, or crisis suits and their shield drones, anything like that. We're selecting that entire unit entry for assassination, and because of that, it doesn't matter that they break up after you deploy them. You are still marking that entire unit for assassination early on. And just to be clear, yes, this is something that I've talked about with the TOs and the judges for Renegade and clarified that that is the intent. So in any situation, you should always consult the TO. Don't take my word for it. Don't take a podcast's word for it. Always consult the TO. But for my reading and from the Renegade perspective, it has always been that if you are addressing a unit before it's deployed, they don't count as separate units. So if you are in a tournament scene where you are marking or addressing or prioritizing targets before the game starts, it's really important that you recognize that drones and their host parent at that point are just a single unit. And so this opens up some interesting tactical options within the Renegade format, at least, that you can bring some stealth suits and throw a drone in there and basically leave that drone hidden somewhere and have those stealth suits run away and shoot up the opponent and die, and the opponent still will not get the kill point. Similarly, you can do that with like a Yvara. A Yvara is going to be really aggressive, and it's potentially not going to make it. So if you are worried about your Yvara dying and giving up a kill point, you can take a drone with it, leave that drone back in your deployment zone, hide it in a building or something, and then send the Yvara out to go have a good time, and you don't have to worry about losing that kill point, because if the opponent is focusing on the Yvara, they're not going to be picking off that shield drone. So yeah, I mean there's some benefit to that. Now really the big issue with treating drones as separate units, as you should in most cases, is that it gives up more kill points. And so if you're in a situation where you're not dealing with kill points in your missions, then it really doesn't matter. But in cases where kill points are important, which is pretty common, it's really important to read your missions ahead of time and understand if you are counting units before or after deployment. If it's before deployment, they're the same unit. If it's after deployment, they're two separate units. So that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I full of it? Am I right on? Either way, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching, and of course, happy wargaming. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank all my patrons over on Patreon. Your support really makes a difference for me, and I really appreciate it. Special thanks goes out to NoExcusesPanda, Paul Leuders, TauOswell, Andy Young, Peter Benjamin Parker, Deverson, and Giovanni DiMaggio. You guys rock, thank you. If you liked this video particularly well, head on over to Patreon and consider joining our community over there. Thanks as always, and happy wargaming.